Welcome to the Foolproof FSBO podcast. I'm Tim the FSBO guy, and this is the show that helps homeowners sell their homes without paying that $31,000 agent tax. Hey, every week I'm going to share real strategies, simple tools, and proven checklists that make selling your home yourself safe, fast, and profitable. So if you're ready to keep your equity and stay in control of your sale, you're in the right place. Let's go ahead and dive in. You think you'll pocket most of that $400,000 when you sell your house? Think again. Today, I'm breaking down the 5 sneaky costs that chip away at your profit, and I'm tracking every dollar side by side so you can see if selling with an agent or going for sale by owner actually leaves more money in your pocket. Cost number 1. The agent tax is the biggest chunk of your money that disappears. On a $400,000 home, total commissions can run over $20,000. Now, if you're thinking of selling for sale by owner, you skip the listing agent fee entirely by contributing your sweat equity. If you decide to offer a buyer's agent fee or a flat fee, let's just call it $10,000, you save the rest. And here's where it gets interesting. If your buyer comes direct to you with no agent at all, you pay exactly $0 in commissions. Yes, it's rare, but yes, I have seen it happen. And when it does, you're going to be very happy you considered this route. Let's check the scoreboard. If you went with an agent starting with a $400,000 sale, you're now down to $378,400. The for sale by owner path also starts at $400,000, but after paying just the buyer's agent, you're sitting at $390,000. That's an instant $11,600 price difference. I like to call it the price of convenience, or as my wife calls it, our kids' college fund. On this step, going FSBO is definitely the winning path. Let's get to cost number 2, the show-ready spend. Here's something to remember when you're gearing up to sell. Getting your home ready costs real money. And we're talking paint, we're talking deep cleaning, staging, making your lawn look like a golf course. You know, all of the stuff you've been meaning to do for the past 5 years, but suddenly you have to do it right now. With professional photos and smart prep, most homes can look amazing for $1,000 to $3,000. But let's be realistic. It's always best to offer a little bit more on the budget because we all know how home projects go. Let's take a look at our updated tally. The agent path drops from $378,400 to $374,400. The for sale by owner path goes from $390,000 to $386,000. We're still maintaining that gap with FSBO, but we're not calling this a tie actually, because with the institutional knowledge and the industry relationships that agents have, they can often find you the most efficient workers in the area. So even though I can't give a quantitative dollar amount here, the advantage at this step likely goes to the agent. Cost number 3, it's the deal drain. And this is one of my favorite ones to talk about because it happens to everybody and no one sees it coming. It's one of the more insidious ones we can talk about. All right, let's put ourselves in the seller's shoes. You get an offer. Fantastic. Let's pop the champagne. But wait, the buyer wants repair credits. Oh, and they want help with closing costs. By the way, they basically want you to pay for their moving truck while you're at it. Now, nearly half of the sellers out there gave confessions in early 2025. That's not a typo. I said half. Now, smart sellers know how to trade terms instead of just handing over raw cash. But for our example here, let's say that you agreed to a $4,000 credit because your agent told you it was reasonable in this market and that you just kind of wanted the deal done. Versus you having done your own comps and your own market positioning research as a for sale by owner. You would have the ammunition to push back against that credit that you just wouldn't have otherwise had you let somebody else steer the ship. So in this case, the agent path drops to $370,400. The for sale by owner path stays at $386,000. Cost number 4, death by 1,000 cuts. Now, I call it this because that's exactly what closing costs feel like. There are all those administrative fees that finalize the sale. You've got title insurance and escrow fees, transfer taxes, and prorated property taxes. It's like everyone at the closing table brought their hand out for a tip. I want you to expect at least 1 or 2% of your sale price, not including commissions, to get eaten away in the death by 1,000 cuts routine. At 1.5% on our $400,000 home, that's another $6,000. $6,000 for paperwork, essentially. It's necessary, but it's still paperwork. So here's where we stand. The agent path goes from $370,400 down to $364,400. The for sale by owner path goes from $386,000 all the way down to $380,000. Regarding this step in the for sale by owner versus agent battle, we're going to call this one a draw. Now, if you'd like to follow along and see your exact numbers, comment the word calculator below, and I will send you our Truth Compass worksheet, which will break down every cost specific to your personal situation. And let's carry on to cost number 5, carrying cost. This is the silent killer that almost nobody will warn you about. Every single month your home sits on the market, you're still paying mortgage, property taxes, insurance, and utility costs. Your home is basically charging you rent to sell it at this point. On a $400,000 home, that averages to $2,431 every single month. That's like buying a new laptop every 30 days and just throwing it down the trash. If it takes 60 days to sell with an agent, which is pretty typical, you've just spent $4,862, literally waiting. Using the skills we teach our Foolproof FSBO Blueprint clients, selling on your home should take less than 10 days. Yes, I said that. Less than 10 days and you'll be under contract. So that's a pretty clear win right there for going for sale by owner. So are you ready for the final numbers before the bank gets paid? Let's take a deep breath here. At this point, we've taken out every major selling cost. That's commissions and prep, credits, closing fees, and carrying costs. What's left is your gross profit, or also called your pre-payoff total. This is the amount that you would receive from the sale before paying off your mortgage, if you still have one. So if we look at what we net from the agent path, we're looking at $364,400 minus $4,862 in carrying costs, which brings us to a grand total of $359,538. If we go to the for sale by owner math, you'll see that we started at $380,000 minus $4,862, which brings us to $375,138. And that is your real bottom line before the lender takes their share. Let's bring it home. At the beginning of all this, we accepted an offer for $400,000 on your home. And hey, congratulations. I'm glad you got that. But after every single cost we just covered, we see that the for sale by owner path in this example kept $15,600 more in their pocket. And remember, if your buyer comes without an agent, that difference jumps to over $25,000. That's like a really nice vacation, or two like really, really nice vacations. Now, your mortgage gets paid out of those proceeds. The bank always gets theirs, right? Let's just assume for math's sake that you owed $250,000. Here's what you actually walked away with. With the agent route, $359,538 minus $250,000 equals $109,538 in net proceeds. With the for sale by owner route, $375,138 minus that $250,000 loan payoff equals $125,138 in net proceeds. All right, so what does this all mean? Well, look, this isn't about scaring you down one path or another. It's just about preparing you. When you understand where your money goes, you can better control it. Knowledge is power here, and in this case, knowledge is also money. So if you like this video, you're going to really love the other one I created about this, which is the top 5 ways to negotiate the best deal for your home sale. Trust me, you're going to want to check out number 3. Thanks for listening to the Foolproof FSBO podcast. For free tools and step-by-step guides to sell your home with confidence, head on over to foolprooffsbo.com/podcast. That's foolprooffsbo.com/podcast. And we'll see you next week.